The importance of learning English. Industries across the world is driven by English language, and they also look for people who speaks fluent English with a good communication and interpersonal skills. However, many Indian graduates believe they are not ready for the working industry because they lack the basic English speaking skills until the vernacular languages command a more notable presence in global business. English will continue to hold ground and open for success. Despite being strong in their technical profile, students have to spend more time acquiring these skills. When a child has studied English from school to college, one wonders why they are forced to join institutes which advertise spoken English and English in 100 days. These quick fix methods are the results of not receiving proper English learning during their formative years. Educators has been treating English as a subject rather than a language. There has been immense emphasis on students to do well in exams, but they are not taught the skills listening, speaking, reading and writing that will help them in master the language. A deep rooted notion is the belief that a good grasp of grammar is essential to achieve good language skills. Grammar is necessary to speak and write accurate English. However, grammar being an analysis of language can impede and thwart a child's free flowing imagination. For instance, students are still writing letters adhering to all the conventions of letter writing, given the fact that old fashioned letters have been given a convenient send off because of the rapid strides in modes and medium of communication. There is a need to adapt to the need of the day. Learning the language in the early stages of life is related to the visual and auditory experience the child goes through in the surrounding environment. This experience is crucial in widening the child's mental horizons and nurturing their imagination. For instance, if you ask students is to list the name of 20 fruits, vegetables, birds, animals or flowers in English, they will recollect names like kiwi, dragon fruit, strawberry, etc., but seem to forget more familiar and common specimens like the mango, crow, owl, etc. Learning a language and retaining the capacity to reproduce the words and structures across numerous situations is closely linked to learning language in context. Abstraction in sentences like Jack climbed the mountain to pluck the golden apple is farther from the child's imaginative sphere than Rajeshwari could see the jasmines and mangoes in the month of May. Relatability and contextualization of content is essential to enhance the child's language potential. Total physical response, also known as TPR, is a proven method for acquainting students with English in the vernacular medium, especially in the lower grades. It is based on how children learn their mother tongue. The parent says, "Give me the ball" or "Come here," and the child does so. Similar conversations continue for months before the child starts to speak. The child may not speak during this time but is taking all the language in and eventually speaking it. TPR attempts to do the same in the language class. TPR can be used to teach vocabulary related to actions, simple and continuous tenses, classroom instructions, and routines. To converse and imagine in English is one of the ways in which teachers can help students learn English. Interaction in English inside the classroom and outside brings the child outside the comfort zone of the mother tongue. One can conduct an intellectual argument or write poetry or fiction only with the resources that a person can muster from the pool of knowledge available to them. Children should be encouraged to read more books and stories in English. A proven principle about language development is the input vis-a-vis output principle. The more the input, the higher the output before advancing to more serious books. Children should be provided books like illustrated comics, abridged classics with pictures, short story books, etc. Storytelling by the teacher in the classroom can bring variety to the class and also introduce such essentials like pronunciation, stress, and intonation to the students. One strategy fits all students' approach or seeking uniform solutions for the entire class never works. Each child is different and they have their own ways to attain proficiency. It is important to remember that students will make many mistakes while attempting to speak English. While trying to speak English, I use it to translate word for word from my mother tongue. For example, I use it to say rain is falling instead of it's raining. This is to remind them that it is okay to make mistakes. It is important for a teacher to know when or when not to correct a student. If fluency is the goal, it is better not to interrupt the student's speech. This might discourage them. Teachers should accept the errors are a part of the learning process. Being the facilitator, an English teacher should let the students embark on a professional journey of discovery and joy while unraveling the nuisance of this global lingua franca. Media literacy in education. In today's age of information overload and misinformation, the importance of critical thinking and media literacy in education has become increasingly evident. These skills are essential for students to analyze, evaluate, and question the information they encounter daily, especially from social media and news outlets. How are schools addressing the need for critical thinking and media literacy within their curriculums, and where do you see the current educational system lacking in this regard? What steps do you believe are necessary to enhance the development of these crucial skills in students? Cultivating critical thinkers. I acknowledge education's pivotal role in preparing students for the complexities of the modern era. Critical thinking and media literacy, which are now indispensable in navigating the vast information landscape of the digital age. Schools community are rising to this challenge, integrating these essential competences into our curricula through strategic initiatives and collaborative efforts. Central to the approach is the deliberate integration of dedicated courses and interdisciplinary modules focused on critical thinking and media literacy. These initiatives empower students to critically analyze information, distinguish credible sources from unreliable ones, and comprehend the nuance of media representation and bias. By embedding these skills across subjects such as language, arts, and social studies, educationists ensure that students develop a comprehensive understanding that transcends disciplinary boundaries. The unwavering commitment to nurturing students equipped with vital critical thinking and media literacy skills necessary for thriving in today's intricate information landscape. Acknowledging the pervasive influence of digital media and diverse information sources, implementation of comprehensive programs throughout our curriculum gives the change. These initiatives empower students at all grade levels not only to consume information but also to critically access its validity, discern biases, and grasp the societal implications of media portrayal. through the integration of project-based learning and update educational resources, creating environments where students actively engage in research, collaborate on projects, and apply critical thinking skills to real-world challenges. Furthermore, prioritizing community partnership to extend learning beyond the classroom, equipping families to support their children's development in media literacy and critical thinking. Nevertheless, challenges persist, including disparities in curricular depth and variations in teacher training. Addressing these obstacles requires concerted efforts to enhance professional development opportunities, ensuring educators possesses the tools and knowledge to effectively cultivate these critical skills in students, recognizing the need for ongoing innovation in assessment methodologies to accurately measure and validate students' proficiency in critical thinking and media literacy. Critical thinking is defined as reasonable, reflective thinking focused on deciding what to believe or do. Critical thinking is the ability to collect and analyze information to come to a conclusion. It is not subject specific, rather, it is one's ability to pass through information, data, statistics, and other details in order to identify a satisfactory solution. In the current education system, students really lack in critical thinking. The reason for this may be the unintended consequence of focus on standardized tests, lack of discipline, and curriculum too crammed with mandated material. So, to overcome these problems, critical thinking skills is essential in a liberal educational model. Here are few critical thinking abilities that can help students to excel in any situation. Analytical thinking. It involves evaluation data from multiple sources in order to come to the best conclusions. Open-mindedness. Willingness to consider new ideas, arguments, and information with prejudice. Problem solving. It is a cornerstone of critical thinking which requires the ability to identify issues, generated possible solutions. Multimedia and multisensory learning. Integrating multimedia, videos, and interactive simulations. Information literacy. This equips students with the ability to sift through vast amounts of data and determine what is trustworthy and relevant. Problem solving task. Assigning problems that require students to apply knowledge, think critically, and devise solutions. Foster a growth mindset. Emphasize the belief that intelligence and abilities can be developed through effort and perseverance. Provide constructive feedback. Offer constructive feedbacks and highlight the strengths and areas for improvement. Encourage the students to reflect on the feedback and revise their work. In the rapidly evolving landscape of 21st century, the skills required for success extend beyond traditional academic knowledge. Today's students must develop a diverse set of competences to thrive in an interconnected technology-driven world. Indeed, all major education boards in our country promote to develop 4 C's such as critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. They are the key skills that schools' curriculums must focus on to prepare students for future challenges. Incorporating these skills into school curriculums requires a holistic approach to education, one that goes beyond rote learning to foster critical thinking, creativity, and personal growth. Now, students are bombarded with information from various sources, making the ability to analyze and evaluate content crucial for their intellectual and personal growth. Critical thinking empowers students to question assumptions, evaluate evidence, and consider alternative viewpoints. It fosters independent thinking and problem solving skills which are invaluable in both academic and real world contexts. By nurturing these skills, Schools prepare students to navigate complex issues and make informed decisions. On the other hand, media literacy equips students with the tools to discern credible information from misinformation. With the proliferation of digital media, students must understand how media messages are constructed, the intentions behind them, and their potential impact. This understanding helps students become savvy consumers of information and responsible digital citizens. With the introduction of National Education Policy NEP 2020, a shift in the teaching learning process with skills like problem solving, creativity, and analytical thinking is coming to the fore instead of memorization. This is enabling students to apply their knowledge in real world scenarios. However, making critical thinking and media literacy a compulsory component of the curriculum under the National Education Policy make a significant difference in this endeavor to equip students with critical thinking and media literacy skills. Schools can teach students to question and think critically about information presented in media. Introduce students to media bias, teaching them to assess source credibility, encourage experimental learning where collaboration is needed, invite media literacy experts for talk or workshops.